supporters, doubters? I'm assuming you probably had more supporters because your path is you owned other businesses to where the paychecks weren't always necessarily guaranteed.
Right.
Whereas others maybe get into the business coming from a career where they're giving up a salary or they're giving up a steady income. But when you decided to switch gears into real estate, was it supporters on your side? Did you have some doubters?
Well, my parents were doubters because they thought I should be a secretary or go work for the state, right? So because it's a steady paycheck, and you get benefits. But my husband was a big supporter. That was huge because I mean, a lot of times it all fell on him to make the money because to make the paychecks because there you go months without getting a paycheck in real estate. So but yeah, he was my biggest supporter. My kids were my big supporters. Um, but for the most part, you're always going to have doubters. You're always going to have supporters. You just focus on the supporters and let them, you know, help guide you through it.
Yeah. Let's dive into kind of the beginning of your real estate career.
Mhm.
Was it instant success? Were there some failures? Can you kind of dive into the first couple years? What did you focus on? What were some of your results?
I just did me. I didn't set a goal to be like a certain person or a certain thing. I don't know, maybe I was, naive to it, but I just set out and did my thing. So, started out at which was then King Thompson. It's now Coldwell Banker, King Thompson, now just Coldwell Banker, but started out at King Thompson. And I just did. I just grinded, right, as much as I could, right? So
Yeah.
again, success was at my level. I just did what I wasn't trying to be the top agent in the office, wasn't trying to, be the best at our, I wanted to find that good balance between my family and real estate. So my first full year in real estate, I was the top closing agent in my office. And I had
Wow.
no clue, none whatsoever. At the awards banquet, and I'm sitting by my assistant manager at the time, and they're calling out these names, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden they called my name, and I went, "What?" And I looked at her, and she went, "Mm-hmm." She knew I didn't know. She knew that wasn't all right. So that kind of lit a little bit of a fire under me, but but I but I again never really focused on that. I'm not competitive. I'm the least competitive person. I'm not going to look at your numbers and look at my numbers and think, oh, I can do better than that. I'm going to look at, if I even looked at your numbers, I would say, yay, I want you
Yeah,
to do more, right? I am competitive against myself though.
sure.
Um, so I always strived to do better or more for the next year. Um, but then that next year, so that first full year in real estate, I was the top closing agent. And then the president of the company came to me and said, "Hey, a lot of the agents in the office tell me that you're really helpful to them. Are you interested in management?" And I was like, um, I don't know. So they had two management positions open and an assistant manager position. I was like, no, well, I would like to try the assistant management position and see what it's like. And they were like, no, 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 we want you to be a manager. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm like a year and a half in the business, right? Not even 2 years in the business. And so anyway, so I told them I would try it and I give them a year. And after that, I'll let them know. And I gave it a year and I left after the year. I left because I was like, nah, I wasn't making the money. I wasn't making money like I can in real estate. So
Yeah. Was it just that, or was that the difference between being the entrepreneur and now being kind of like in that you're probably strapped to office hours and certain
no,
expectations where
yeah. No, because remember, I like to help people. I mean, and I think
yeah,
that's what they saw. So I really enjoyed that part of it. And in all honesty, it was, I wasn't making nearly the money that I could be making selling real estate, but it was it's a lot of strong personalities in real estate agents, and it was not easy. So instead of having to take care of, 30, 40, whatever agents I had, and their attitudes and whatever, I chose to worry about myself and my clients.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So were you also selling during that year as well, or did you kind of have to give that up?
I was allowed to sell a little bit, not a whole lot, not a
Yeah.
whole lot.
I always found it's so hard, in my opinion, to navigate both of those waters at the same time.
Yeah.
It's you can't give all parties the service that they deserve.
It is hard. I think it can be done, but at what level? I
Right.
mean, so after that, after I left management with Coldwell Banker, I moved over to Remax, and I was there several years with one Remax franchise, and then I went to another Remax franchise, and then the owners had approached me about being a co-owner in a Hilliard office because they didn't have any presence in Hilliard at that time. And I had come from a Remax Hilliard office that closed down. And so I went into a business partnership with them and did that for about 4.5 years, and decided to move on from that. Stayed with Remax, but again, it's hard to have a business partner too. But I mean, it just is. So I
Yeah.
managed all the agents in the office and did all that stuff. And again, I love helping people be successful. So that's what I focused on. I focused on helping the agents be successful.